Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello, I'm Scott Bogey from Combat Sports UK, here with the Swiss Army knife, Daniel Konrad, ahead of his fight against Aiden Lee. How are you doing today?
Oh, good. It was just a little bit busy, but doing fine.
And how are you feeling ahead of this upcoming fight?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hyped. Ready to rock and roll.
That sounds great. And this fight is at lightweight. Now, you have fought welterweight the majority of your career. What made you switch weight classes?
Yeah, it was actually like people told me like since years I have to go down to lightweight because I'm not really cutting any weight for welterweight. And I was always like, hey, as long as I'm doing fine, why I should go down, you know? And I was just always I thought all this weight cut stuff was like for me nonsense. So I tried to kind of boycott the whole thing. But that it was one at some level you just have to I just had to accept that there's like a reason why people cut the weight.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to compete with people that are which come in like 10 kilos heavier than you know. So I was like, if I want to succeed in this kind of high level martial arts, I gotta go down as well. So I decided to actually I decided already before my last fight to go down, but then they offered me the title fight, so I was like, okay, let's go one more time for welterweight for the title, and so now I said like, okay, now it's really time to go down.
So was the plan, even if you won the title at welterweight, to have a fight at lightweight?
I mean, actually, no. I was like, I said, like, if I win the fight, if I'm gonna win the welterweight title, I'm gonna stick there around. But I said, like, if I'm not gonna get the title,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go down to lightweight. Yeah.
So you kind of saw this as it'll make the decision for you whether this was your weight class or not.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
And how did you feel like that fight went? I know, unfortunately, you weren't able to get the victory, but up until that choke, how did you feel like you were fighting?
I mean, due to the fight, I felt pretty good. You know, I mean, it was like kind of short notice. I just came back
Yeah,
from 2 hip surgeries, so I knew I'm not gonna be like 100% well prepared. But coming into the fight, I felt great. I just felt like after the third round, or like even already in the third round, I just felt like, man, there's a difference with like you wrestle with someone heavier than you. It's like
yeah,
just gassing out you a lot more. Should not be excuse, you know. Like James was like really a really good opponent, and you know what he's doing. So, but I just really like I felt like maybe if he was a little bit lighter, you know, I maybe could have handled him better. I'm not saying that I would have won, but it would have been different, you know.
exactly. And just watching that fight, you did catch him with a good, good shot that did cut him quite badly. Did you ever feel like that cut could have impacted the fight and it could have been a doctor stoppage if you just landed a few more shots at it?
Yeah, actually, at one point in the fight where I felt like, okay, man, I'm gassing out. So I was like, kind of like there was a little thought in my mind, back in my mind, that it was like, okay, maybe I hit him a couple more times on this thing. Maybe it's gonna be his doctor stoppage, you know. I also tried to like rub my hands into his scars and like try to open it a little bit more, because it was like I just felt like, okay, man, it starts
Yeah,
bleeding like really badly. But at the end, I was just like, you know, stand by, just keep going, keep going. But I had a couple short thoughts that I might gonna like stop this fight. But I remember like the moment when I got the eye poke. They stopped real quick, and they took my time, and I was like, no, I want to keep going because I kind of felt like I'm having a good momentum right now.
yeah,
And then I came back, and then I saw they cleaned them up all well, and I was like, where the fuck went all the blood? Because I was like, I felt like, okay, it's bleeding now. I have to like keep
yeah.
keep punching this area. And then I came back, and it was like totally clean. They wiped everything out. I was like, what the heck? For just a short moment, but then it was just like I already forgot about it. Yeah.
Because it did just feel, even just in the arena, there was just a bit of doubt with James whether he was actually going to get the victory and you were actually going to do the massive upset. Did you feel did you feel that in the atmosphere in the arena?
Oh, to be honest, like as soon as I go into the cage and they close the door, I'm not really uh, feeling anything else or like hear anything else than my
Yeah,
coach anymore. So it's really hard to tell about the atmosphere, like what how the people reacted because I kind of planned this all out and it's just like like me and my
yeah.
opponent. So
And
yeah.
how do you like obviously when the round ends, you have just like 1 minute, 1.5 minutes just to recover, get all the information in. Do you have any like strategy for you to try and get that information in? Like any techniques to help you?
I mean, yeah, me and my coach, we always like also in training, we always work on those like how to breathe right to like recover as good as possible. So the first 30 seconds is we don't really talk with each other. We just like try to inhale as
Breathing.
good as
Yeah.
possible and just recover. And then the last like 10, 20 seconds he gives me like just a couple inputs and that's it. But like the first 30 seconds we really try just to focus on breathing, recovering, and then we can talk about something real quick, to get another input for the next round. But it's
And
just like a way of breathing how we practice in training.
yeah, exactly. And after this fight, once you get that victory, as long as you do come out without any injuries, where are you looking to get back into the cage? I know they have a show in San Diego in December, but are you looking at probably the first show in the new year, or are you looking to have some time out?
I mean, I'm really trying to stay active. It took me now a long time. I was like really pushing them to give me a fight. Took them like pretty long. Was They always told me like nobody wants to fight me, and it's hard to find me an opponent, or whatever. So I was really looking forward to stay active, and now I was like already almost like 7 months like waiting for a fight. So I really hope that like beginning of the year they can give me something else. They say like something around March, maybe they have another event in I think London or something. But I was like whatever. It's like I really try to stay active and yeah,
And
nothing.
obviously, like you're saying, no people are saying no to you because they don't want to fight you. Does that give you any, is it more annoying rather than they're proud because they don't want to fight you because they know how good you are?
Yes, yeah, kind of like might be because for myself, I was like, I don't understand why not. I mean, I just came back from a loss. It's like
Yeah,
usually my record is not like incredibly high or something. So there's like on the paper not a reason to not fight me, right? But still, like looks like from the reaction, like that I impressed a lot of people because of my last performance. I mean, I fought the welterweight champ and gave him, I guess, like a couple hot rounds. And as a welterweight, and so as a lightweight, maybe I don't know. They they probably think like it's too risky to take this fight. I mean, these days everybody's very carefully
yeah,
choosing their opponents to keep the records clean. There was like one guy he turned me down with like his unbeaten record like 7-0, and he said no because he probably was like didn't want to take the risk to mess up his record. And this is like how it works now, which is really annoying for me. I think like the Cage Warriors of all the organizations should just like if they give you an opponent, you just gotta fight him
yeah.
if he's next. But there's like they give all the fighters too much of a choice. And at the end, it's like it's fighting. You just gotta fight who is next. But yeah, for me, it was like more like okay, looks like they're scared or whatever. So I was like more kind of like okay, a compliment for me, but still annoying because I he still want to fight. So just give me whoever. Yeah.
And you said earlier on that your record is not the biggest. However, you have had some good performances. You've never went to the judges' scorecards. You have been able to finish your sixth of your wins, and you have also got the welterweight title in Cage FS against Thomas Langowski. You were able to defeat him in the first round due to an armbar. How good was
Right.
it getting that title round your waist?
How close that was? Can you
No,
repeat that question?
how good was it to have that feeling, to knowing you
Oh,
were
all
the
right.
best?
I mean, I don't know. Like I'm a pretty humble soul, so I'm never like for me it's like just it was just another fight, another victory. For me it's like there's like a quick period of like joyous, like okay, man, you got the job done, and then it's like right next. I'm already thinking about the next one, you know. So of course it's like for me, winning belts and titles and everything is nice, but at the end I enjoy the time fighting in the
Yeah.
cage, and it was a pretty short fight, so it was like for me as like a as a martial artist was like I wished I could have um, been in the cage for a little bit longer, you know, because it's harder the fight, the better is the victory, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, I know it's going to be good for my career, so I was pretty happy about it. But just for myself, I was looking forward for a little bit harder challenge, just so I can enjoy the victory a little bit more, you know. Yeah.
And after this fight, do you feel like with a victory, you should be getting that title eliminator fight, or do you feel like after this victory, you deserve that title shot?
I mean, to deserve it is pretty hard. I mean, I know there are like a lot of guys waiting in the line who have like a lot of fights in this division and or in this in the cage wars itself. So I think it wouldn't be very humble to say I deserve it. But I mean, Aiden Lee's I think like a top contender, and after my performance against the welterweight champ, I'm definitely deserve to be somewhere in the line. And I mean, for me, it's like I already called out King George after my last fight because I'm like I'm there to get the belt, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope it just gets me a big step closer to the title fight. But I wouldn't say like I deserve it, like for sure. But I'm definitely should be one of the top contenders then. Yeah.
And how do you feel like a fight between you and George would go down?
Yeah, I don't know. Like it's for me, King George is like he's very technical, but I think like he never really had a like really aggressive opponent, and I think like I could give him some pressure nobody else did before. So I'm not sure how he's gonna handle this, you know. And yeah, that's why I really would like to fight him. Just so I don't know, like I think he's just very like protected from the organization because it's like
Yeah.
somehow their star as well as his brother. So yeah, I would really give like like to give him some hard rounds, you know, so to see how he's gonna handle this.
And then obviously you are based out in Zurich. When are you coming over to the UK for this fight?
When I'm gonna come over,
Yeah.
I mean, usually they haven't sent me my flight tickets yet, but usually they are coming over like one day before weigh-ins on Thursday before the fight. Yes, because I was like, I'm not there for sightseeing or something. I just
Yeah.
go there to get the job done. Yeah. Yeah.
And then do you feel like do you think that even though the crowd is going to be for Aiden, like you're saying, you just block out the crowd, you don't really hear it. It's just background noise to you. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes. If they're cheering or booing, I don't really care. I don't hear it. It's not going to impact me at all. So for me as well as when I walked in Dublin, I hear the like people booing and stuff, and I already expected this, you know. But it doesn't affect me at all. It more is kind of like motivating me. Or as well, I tell my people who want to come to watch, I'm like, if you want to come watch, no problem, you know, appreciate it, but it's not gonna help me or something, you know.
Yeah.
So don't think like you gotta come and watch and cheer because I'm not gonna hear it anyways. All I need is my coach who tells me what I have to do, you know.
And how did you get into MMA?
I'm gonna get into it. Yeah, I get this question a lot, and the answer is usually always my big brother. Got me into this. The whole like I think he just made me um, like the sport or like martial arts or get the passion of it because as a little boy he always like watched with me all the martial arts movies. He always got into the backyard with me fighting stuff, and then he actually introduced me to mixed martial arts, and then I fell in love with it. And so I would say it's definitely my brother, my big brother, who got me into it. Yeah.
What so far in your career, what do you think have been your biggest test?
My biggest test,
Yeah.
I would say coming back from all the injuries because this was always like I mean, the hardest time. It was more like mentally hard to stay positive and like still believe in your dreams and still believing that I can still do it after I end all these surgeries. I think that was the hardest time to like not losing my motivation, not losing my faith in it. Yeah. Yes.
Well, I know you're gonna have a great fight against Aiden and wish you the best of luck to get that victory. Is there
Thank you, sir.
anything else you're wanting to add or anyone you're wanting to shout out?
No, man. It's just like uh, don't miss the fight, everyone. Tune in November 23rd. It's gonna be a good fight. You don't want to miss it. And yeah, see you there.
Well, thank you for coming on.